What's up, everybody? It's Married at First Sight after show. We have Tristan who throwing Mia out of the house, Amber and Dave dominating in tug of war, and Danielle gives more love to her dogs. Let's go. Let's get it.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
It does feel good.
I need my phone. Does my phone work?
The new school lighter.
Right.
Reunited.
Hey.
Okay. Let me run with the 1 and 2. Okay.
That was nothing at all.
Everything. Are you kidding me? Whoa. I feel like we just a star is born.
What's up, y'all?
Shoot.
Stop it. Stop it. What's up, y'all? You know what it is. Married at First Sight after show. I'm just really excited because the whole crew is back.
Yes.
It's been like a month and a half, I feel like, that we've all been together, all four of us.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad we're back. Yay. So talking Married at First Sight, of course, I'm your host, Lim Gonzalez, and next to me, looking so fresh and so clean.
Hey, you already know. It's Felicia Michelle here.
Felicia Michelle here in the building.
I know, I missed you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm in the live chat. I missed you guys too. See, y'all already talking. I got y'all.
Chisel. That's what we're doing. Of course, we have our resident expert extraordinaire, Thelma and Daniel.
Hi guys, I'm so happy to be back, and the whole crew is here, so it's gonna be a good show for sure.
Yes. And of course, Mean Mug herself always got the faces. Shannon O'Connor.
Hey. Guys, I'm so happy. You have no idea. My heart is so full.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to see you guys and be with you.
Yeah, I'm happy that we're all here. I'm not happy about this episode.
Oh no. We all just changed.
Yeah. That's what I'm not happy about. I really wish, and the fact that they gave us an hour and a half of it was like, why did you do that to our spirit? Like, my spirit feels some kind of way about how this episode went down. What are your thoughts about it?
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Right.
I fell asleep for 30 minutes of the episode at least. It was so boring, but it was boring. Sorry, there's no highlight for me. I'm gonna be negative Nancy today.
You're not alone, and I feel like it's not like you're being negative. You're just honestly being realistic. You're being honest about what we saw, and it was not a very exciting episode. I saw the producers try and sneak that little.
They tried it.
They had a little meeting, like, okay, let's get them talking, let's get them together. Perhaps if Mia and Tristan were at the tug of war, the outing, that could have brought some more drama. It could have accomplished what they were actually intentionally trying to accomplish. But I don't think, because they weren't there, it was just still dry. So overall, it was, it was a solid episode, I guess.
I was getting a kick out of Dave and Amber.
That's true.
They were being little comedians, I feel like, this whole episode.
They were
I was
wonderful.
laughing
It was
at them.
refreshing to see
They were
them.
great. Like, flirting and just having fun together.
Yeah, it was
I loved
refreshing.
it. I think that was the highlight for me of this episode.
And not
is
talking
seeing
about
them.
Jessica Biel.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. No, I definitely think, I think to me, Dave and Amber won this episode. That typically on the low part for me with them, just because of their interaction is just doesn't seem smooth all the time. A lot of times, and it's like there's always miscommunication, or Amber's feeling some kind of way in her feelings, or Dave is not being, how he should be as a husband to her. So I definitely think that they're finding their rhythm. I love the comedy. I was actually laughing out loud.
Yeah, we all
I
were.
thought that was great. We all were. Tristan and Mia, let me say something about it. They've been problematic since, episode 1, Uno. I did not like, if you're going to show what's happening, I get it. But I personally, and you may differ, but I personally felt like if you're going to have them, walking out on each other, essentially, we see that Tristan kicks her out. It's like, seriously, kicks her out. goes back to her own condo, and then at the end of this episode, they're making up, and then they're back. Oh, I want to sleep next to you. I'm like, come on, man, that doesn't even seem realistic.
Oh, so we're gonna start with them?
Yeah, let's start with them.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, okay, first off, if you've ever been in a relationship with anybody, or things can get tumultuous, but it's a marriage, and the fact that you kicked her out is so significant to me. It's a doneness. You know what I mean? It's like that's done. That's it. I don't want you in my space anymore. I want you out. And I have a big mouth, so I've been kicked out of many places, and it doesn't feel good. And if my husband kicked me out, y'all laughing, I'm serious. And if my husband,
I'm sure you're serious. That's why it's funny. But anyway, go ahead.
if my husband kicked me out, I would be hurt beyond belief. Like, I don't even care if he kicked me out for like an hour. Like, you told me to leave. Him packing up her stuff. Him throwing that candle. Mia, I usually don't like you. I usually don't like you. But I was on her side this episode because honestly, first off, you're petty. A candle, like, I think like the Jersey in me would have been like, oh hell no, pick the candle up and like threw it back. But that's not Mia. She's quiet and reserved. But it was weird because I'm confused about who kicked out who and if someone left. Was anyone lost on that?
He had a different story. Mia's story is that she was kicked out, and the way it looked is if that he was packing her stuff and setting it out the door, and then she's talking to the camera essentially, and is like, I'm kicked out, guys, and then having to go to her car back to her condo. He made it seem like she just left.
That wasn't her car because that was a Benz, and I was looking, and I was like, that's not. And it had the little sticker on the back, courtesy of someone.
Oh, okay.
Unless she put a bumper sticker on the Benz, and that's just
Right.
You know what? She's
her car was
crazy.
stolen.
She
Her
might.
car was stolen. Right? It was her identity or something.
But it was still stolen though.
Shannon.
But yeah,
that's
okay.
beside the
So it
point.
probably wasn't her car or car service that packed up the stuff and then took her back to her apartment. Bottom line is their stories were different.
Yeah, I think when it comes to a relationship and you pull a card like that, you have different levels of cards that you pull, right? And I feel like packing up her things, because I think it was one of those situations where he's like, well, if you don't want to be here, well, you don't have to be here. But it's like, if you're packing up my things and you're deciding for me that I don't want to be here, then that's a problem as well. I was glad to see the other shoe drop when he came to them, because they're both very problematic and lying to themselves. And I recall the last time we were both here, we did discuss this, like this idea of like, you saying you want to go, but Nia, this exactly, I be knowing, we said this, you don't really want to go, and now it's blown up into this bigger thing instead of you just being honest from the beginning. So in my opinion, it's history replaying itself within a month.
Within a month.
Yeah, because she came in the first time, didn't say, wasn't honest,
Right.
and then now it's happening again.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I feel for Mia because I don't know how she could feel secure again in the relationship. Like, kind of Felicia was saying, like, once you kick me out, like, there's no going back from that. Not that it's on the same level as cheating, but it's almost like the same sense of, like, how do I trust you again that you're not going to dangle the relationship in front of me again when we're having an argument. So, I don't know, it was hard because Mia was really hurt and she felt her worth was really
But also, how much does she play into things, though? She knows how to add.
There's a manipulation factor that she kind of knows how to play. She kind of knows how to play the victim, and she knows how to push his buttons. At this point, they've been married for a month.
A month and a half.
Yeah, a month and a half.
Yeah.
And shoot, I don't know in y'all 2 weeks, and I know what buttons to push with y'all. So I'm just saying, like, she knows his buttons, and she's like pushing them, and then it makes him explode.
Right.
And then she gets to be demure and quiet, and we feel bad for her.
But
Although getting kicked out is different.
Yeah, but not to minimize what happened with them. I just feel like, when they were having that conversation in front of Pastor Cal, I'm glad that I see Mia standing up for herself, because we speak about that a lot, about the role that she has in her family and how that is kind of playing itself out in her relationship. So it's refreshing to see her speak out and be honest. But I think this is a problem that we've seen a long time coming, because they've never really resolved anything. When it comes to Dave and Amber, yes, we cringe and it's annoying and we go through, but at least we're feeling it through, and that's why now when they're happy, we can be happy for them, because we've made progress with y'all. It's like even at the end of that relationship, at the end of that conversation with Pastor Kyle, it felt like a parent making you hug your sibling to get over a hump instead of just, I don't know, something realer than that.
And how could Pastor Cal say he's 100% confident that their marriage
They have a
could
strong
work.
foundation.
Pastor.
Yes, strong foundation. I mean, you were, what?
Yeah,
What
I
foundation?
don't know
I don't
what-
think
yeah.
there is.
I don't
much
know
of a
what he was
foundation.
using. Speaking of the pastor, I was interested when he was having the conversation with just Tristan, and he's told him, and this was kind of to me how I felt about the entire situation. So he was telling Tristan, he said, "You've been stand up, you've been good this entire time." Because let's keep it real, Tristan has been through the ringer with her since day one, from the time that
sure.
they were supposed to go on the honeymoon, and what happened with that, and then her lying, and then some of the other stuff that happened. Tinder that came out, being thrown on the bus in front of her family. So there was a lot that he's been through, and he's just kind of sucked it up, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna keep trekking. But I think he did reach his boiling point, and he did say to him that you cannot use this as leverage.
Right.
And the fact that you're using the relationship as leverage is where you're in the wrong. And I think he saw that when they didn't meet together. However, I think it's interesting to the point of him feeling that way. You were saying they should have dealt with it earlier, and this has been a long time coming. And I felt like, again, yes, Mia being manipulative, she should have been honest about how she felt, and we kind of all call this coming.
Exactly.
We knew that this was coming,
yeah.
so
Exactly.
it's really no surprise. And it was just like, when? When is this gonna? It's gonna come up, at the 8 weeks. It's gonna put the 6 week mark. I mean, and it happened at the 6 week mark. I just feel like they do not go together. I feel like they're not meant for each other. They cannot coexist. They're just not meant to be. And I think that there's things that they both need to work on. But with them as they are now, they just shouldn't be together.
Yeah.
No, it's funny. So my mom texts me while we're watching the show, and she says to me, "On this Married at First Sight, Tristan is controlling, and he takes her quietness for weakness. He acts like the woman." I thought that was pretty interesting, because normally we see that men are the ones who are not good communicators, and that women are the ones who are like do more, talk more, and more enraged. And he is so, it kind of seems like he's more, I don't know if he's more passionate or he cares more. How did you interpret that?
I definitely interpreted that as just subtle aggression, which was kind of the issue when it came to them going over the pros and cons, right? There's an overlining umbrella of a threat, which is, if you do not move to Houston, I will not be with you. He even said in this episode, "Oh, well, you can stay." What does that mean when you throw stuff like that out and you just started a relationship? It's a little scary. Yeah. So I feel like those kinds of things kind of rub people the wrong way. And I feel like when it came to him, the aggression, the throwing of a candle, the way that he was talking to her. And I think, if anything, it was really weird for me to be in a position where I'm agreeing with Mia, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yes,
I was like, look at Mia being the calm one who's like, listen, we did not have a sit down conversation about our insurance. That could have been she probably heard insurance and she was like, do you have pre-existing conditions? Like the new tax break? You never know. That could have been the boiling point, but still, I definitely was siding with her. Yeah. And it was good to see his flaws kind of played out.
That's what they're saying in the live chat. Basically, it couldn't just be because of insurance. This just can't be just insurance. Yeah.
It's a reality check.
Who
when
the
you're
hell
merging
cancels
insurance,
their insurance before they get other insurance?
Right? Nobody does that. So it just was
no one told you
very
on the wild side,
two
bro.
sides to every story kind of thing. Because he was probably under the impression that we mentioned that we wanted to join, so I just took it and ran with it.
Or do you think she was also hesitant to combine their health insurance because she's also on the fence about the relationship?
Yeah,
in
just
general?
it's a lot of
maybe
big
that's why
moves.
she's been.
I personally don't think.
Out.
I think that it was something that just wasn't that important to her.
Yeah.
And I think we know that he can't just blow up because of the insurance.
Yeah.
Obviously, and Pastor Kyle even called it's something deeper. But I think it's everything that he's gone through. And I think that he's come to this point where it's like, okay, we're moving to Houston. They did the whole chart thing. It made sense to her. She agreed to go, and then said, this was just the last episode.
Yeah.
Only a week ago, said oh yeah, this is a new start for me, and this is really good. So then you hear this, you want to trust that your wife is giving you the correct information, and then all of a sudden, hey, did you do this? Nah, not really. It's like, wait, do you even want to go? well, actually, I really don't. Yeah. And then you're just like, well, you tricked me.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where he's at because he knows how important it is to him. She knows how important it is to him. It's not as important to her, obviously. And so he's kind of feeling like, oh, you played me, so now I'm upset. Do you even want to go? No? Okay, fine. Then you stay here and then I'll go.
So do you feel like she's just going through the motions of whatever she thinks it would appease him and make the relationship ideal momentarily? Like, do you think...
That's a great question because I was going to ask you that too. Do you think that a part of him, just a little part of him, might have known this all along? You know?
I think somewhat, yes, because I think they've spent enough time and been together enough time to know how she is, just like you said. I could tell what pushes your buttons, and knowing you a short time. He knows how she is. He knows she's very a meek person, individual that's not really aggressive when it comes to when it comes to certain things, kind of passive aggressive to a degree. Definitely manipulative. So all of these things, I mean, we're just calling what it is. So all of these things, I think he also wanted, I think some of it though was like, maybe this is going to be different. Maybe she's actually going to follow through. Maybe she's telling me the truth this time. And then when it comes out that it's not, which he probably kind of expected, he's just like, all right, I'm done.
I see what you're saying there because it's a habit that she says something. It's not 100% exactly what she means. Right. And then they have to clarify and then she does it over and over and over again. And she tries
it takes two. That's
to tango.
It takes two. Is that, then that's what I mean by like knowing it all along or just trying to being responsible for how you've enabled this behavior to some extent. But I also hearing you talk, it kind of, it gives me a real light on his perspective a little bit more because he did reveal in this episode very honestly that he's really in love with her and he really cares for her and he's never allowed himself to go there because they have the security of the relationship. So for you guys to be picking up and leaving, that's such a hurtful thing in a relationship that you shouldn't, like with marriages, you don't play with divorce, you don't play with things like that because it's a line that you can't really go back on because now that he did it to her, you see that in the preview she feels okay. Well, now you've opened the door for this to be a tool for fighting, and it should never be that way. It's not safe.
Which is why Pastor Cal corrected him and said that that's wrong for you to do. Yeah, because use that as leverage. What were you gonna say, Shannon?
I don't want to doubt his passion that he said to her, like, I have this deep passion for you. But it's just so hard to believe, like how he said it, everything about it, and it felt like he was forcing tears. It looked, and I don't want to question someone's
he was like
feelings, like just
she didn't even buy it,
you know. So it was just
he like dapped his face.
It just seems kind of fabricated, but again, I don't want to like question. That's not really how you feel, you know, because who am I to say? But then again, we're going off body language and like intention behind what they're saying, and it's just not matching up to his words, you know. So,
I'm gonna say something. You probably won't agree with me, but I feel like Dave would be perfect for Mia. Like the way Dave
crazy women
well, I'm just saying,
sorry, that's unfair statement because he handles.
I think just because of the personality of Mia, right? And the way Dave is, I don't think. First of all, Tristan, I don't think is as sure of himself. As Dave is. I think Tristan still, I mean, he's 29. I mean, he's old enough, but, you know, still growing at that point. And I feel like he's a younger 29. And I feel like she's, 30? And I feel like she also has been, just from the looks of her family and stuff, that she's been catered to a lot. And so I feel like because... what am I saying? Tristan, because Tristan is really trying his best to give his all. He does. I think he does love her. I'm gonna say he does love her. He's trying to do everything for her and do this and do that. And anytime she says something, boom, I'm gonna do this. But I think that's not what she needs. I think she needs somebody that's gonna be like, look, this is what it is, and let's talk about it. I think that she needs somebody who's a great communicator. I don't think Tristan is as good as a communicator as maybe you think he is, or maybe has what she needs. And I feel like somebody like Dave, of all the husbands that are there, is very level-headed and can be like, all right, you know, Mia, let's talk this through. Let's say it again. Oh, okay. All right, so what about this? And I think that she needs somebody to do that with her. And I think Tristan's not doing that because he's caught up in his feelings.
I think they both need individual work outside of being in any type of relationship. And because they need to work on themselves as individuals, when you come together, like one storm cloud, another storm cloud doesn't make a sunny day. Like it makes a whole bunch of rain.
Okay.
That's off the
That
top of
was
the
good. No,
dome.
that was really good.
I like that.
I made that up.
Oh,
You heard it here
shoot.
first.
Let me type this in real quick.
Tweetable moment.
No,
Yeah.
I'm done with y'all. No, seriously though, because if
Yeah.
shout out to Ed, thanks Ed. No, because if you're a mess and that like we see it with Amber and Dave, because Amber's kind of a little bit of a mess, like in her insecurities, and it takes such a toll on her relationship, and that's just one issue. Those two, Tristan and Mia, have multiple issues between them alone, and then you get that together. It's the perfect storm.
Yeah, I think you made a really, really, really nice point, and I like this idea of like mixing and matching the couples together.
That could be
Who
cool.
else? Yeah, I mean,
Right.
maybe we can like circle back around. Maybe at the finale, we can do like a new mix and match like a game or something, because that sounded really funny. I'm thinking about it like, ooh, I actually think that would work. I actually think Mia and Dave would work because Mia is very successful in what she's doing. Look at the way she was able to transfer. She cares about those things. There's strong points that she has that I feel like Dave would be able to respect and like about her. And then there are parts that he can kind of like shape her up into as well. And perhaps it has something to do with the fact that Mia's 28. I think she's about 28, 29, like you said. And sometimes being with an older guy might be better for somebody who's her age, because then he's had more of a chance to mature versus somebody who's your same age. So all those different things come into play. But then again, I do know people who are 50 years old and it doesn't matter. But I'm
No,
just
of
saying
course.
that is just an idea I'm thinking about.
Can I ask a question to you guys?
yeah.
Sorry, Shannon. I'm gonna just direct it to you then.
Okay.
Do you think that Mia and Tristan, before this process started, committed themselves to an idealistic view of what marriage was, and then even throughout the process they're carrying that? Because I'm sure every person before they get married has an idealistic view of what marriage is like, or else so many people wouldn't do it, and then so many people wouldn't know that it fails, so sometimes it's bad. But it seems like they're carrying that ideal of marriage throughout it. Like they're not going through the process and learning and breaking down those maybe preconceived notions they had of marriage, and they're holding on to them. And maybe that's why they don't talk about their problems, because they want to act like it's a Barbie and Ken's perfect world and everything is perfect and there's nothing wrong.
Like a Bobby and Danielle situation. But yeah,
but with actual real deeper issues.
Yeah, I 100% think that is what's happening, especially with Tristan, because I feel like he is skimming the surface of everything that's going on, because she's my wife, it's gonna work, she's my wife, like he'll always say that. And so I definitely think that's the case with them. And Mia doesn't seem as committed to me as Tristan does. But yeah, I think they have that idea going into it.
I think that's a great observation,
Yeah,
and I think that's very true as to what their ideal love is.
I agree completely, and I really don't think Mia's that into it either. One, the way that she was reacting to him having the either true or fabricated like profession of love, but also just from the beginning, like she like gave homeboy a high five. Like it was always a situation where he had to kind of work into gaining her or kind of reeling her in, and because of the trouble that they've had on both ends, I think that smooth path was the only thing that could have gotten her in a position to be fully committed into a marriage.
For sure.
Wait, someone said, Coffee Time, shout out to Coffee Time, says a swingers club when you guys couples
Swapping,
around. Yeah.
right? Wife swap or something.
I don't think Amber's gonna be cool with that.
Yeah.
Amber would know.
Danielle and Bobby wouldn't even talk about it.
Right. They would be like, what?
What is that?
Let's get on to Amber and Dave. Speaking of them, so it starts off with Amber and Dave talking to Amber's family, on the little phone situation. And as I said, I give them the MVP this episode because I really think that they are taking what the experts are giving to them. I think they're applying it. I think there's still struggles there and there's still bumps. But like we were talking about the humor that they're finding, I think they're finding, their niche.
Yeah.
And, even the little, I thought it was kind of corny, but Dave even saying like, "Hey, let's go upstairs to the roof and plant some flowers."
I thought that was
And
so
kept referencing
cute.
roots.
I was like,
planting
I like stuff like that.
Okay. All right. I mean, it works.
good, yeah.
It works. Okay, that's all that matters. It worked.
Try it. I bet you it works.
I bet you it won't.
Give it a go, and then report back.
Yeah.
Yeah, let
Okay.
us
Would
know.
that work on you?
Yes, he had
my
he had
God.
gloves for her. As long as you got the gloves, we can go.
Okay. All
It
right.
seems like a
just something
spin-off
different.
show, First sight, like with the a date.
They
Take
do have a
roots.
spinoff coming up. Though.
Take roots for Married at First Sight,
On
taking
the
roots.
beach. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Thank you, Tone. Thank you. But I thought it was also interesting. Like I feel like with them, they also it's almost like they are. It's almost like a Barbie and Ken, and it's like, hey guys, let's make traditions.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No.
all right,
seemed
what
very
traditions do you
different.
have?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we get together on Easter. Well, do you guys know? Thank you.
And they're very old about it.
Right.
They're very like.
No, they are very experienced about it because if you know a couple has been together for a long time, like I know for us, like my sister has to figure out which holidays you're going to come to because you can't be in two places at one time if you have two sides of your family, especially when you have kids. So I thought that was a really great conversation for them to have to know, like, hey, listen, on Easter, okay, I don't go there, perfect. We'll go to my parents' house, or how do we do this or how to do that? And it was very like a conversation I feel like Amber needed to hear because it made her feel more secure because why can't I talk? Because he's planning on a future and holidays and those milestones, they mean something. I know people go, oh, holidays don't mean anything and traditions don't mean anything. No, they do. Like we're a civilization built off of tradition. So you have to have some type of tradition. It keeps you connected. It keeps you have history and they're making their own history. So I thought that was cute as hell.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Amber.
He did slip up though. He did slip up because he's like, so what kind of baby? I mean, our baby.
They just got married recently. So
yeah, exactly. No, I'm saying,
but I thought she was gonna catch it and be like, "What do you mean?"
Excuse me?
Oh, God.
No, he caught it good.
She's done a better job of just like chilling
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
just like, and I think it's because now she really feels like, okay, like we're in this thing, like he really likes me, like we, she's feeling a little safe because even the jokes are not as like problematic. She's not picking up on little things. I'm just like, it was really refreshing watching them this episode. I was like, yeah.
I thought it was hilarious
I like
them
it.
whipping on Bobby and Danielle. It's like a
And
war.
then taking the picture and like
Repeatedly.
yeah. And how did you guys think Bobby took that in terms of like her not being able to know that it was him with the game?
Well, he felt like some kind of way.
Yeah,
Like, he was tight about
game.
it. He was definitely tight about it. But it's
he
Bobby.
was more tight than Dave was.
Well,
yeah.
because he knew he was gonna lose. Like he knew this
Right.
is like I'm 0 for 3.
Right.
Like, this is our last chance.
And he said he's competitive. So I'm a competitive person. And I know, like, if I'm going to lose something, I'm not going to be happy about it. And I'm going to try to win whatever it is. So it's like, oh, you beat me in this? All right, let's play spin the chairs.
Yeah.
All right, I mean, just make up stuff. Like,
Yeah.
at least I get one W before I get out of here.
Yeah.
So I felt for him of that, and he's just a little dude. But
surprised.
And then why did he
Yeah.
let go of the damn rope? Why are you letting Dave drag you like that? Son, you already look small, and then he dragged
that
you
was
like
comedy.
4 feet.
That's not his
that
fault.
was comedy.
Let-
That
no,
was
trying.
comedy.
He needed to let go of the rope.
Oh, you're saying
'Cause he got
he
dragged.
wasn't gonna give
Yeah.
up. He was
Yeah.
gonna give
Danielle
up.
was like, "Oh, not my hands."
It was
Right.
over.
Right.
See ya.
But did you hear Danielle though? She's always got these little like slight little digs and how she was digging on Tristan and Mia.
Yeah, I heard
and,
that.
Yeah. And she's good for that. They should do like a montage of all of her digs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's always got something to say and she's like, oh, they're not here? Oh, interesting. I don't think that's gonna work between them.
Yeah.
Like just like
She's already made a decision, and she was the
Yeah.
one who kind of initiated that conversation of like, if my husband ever kicked me out, it's over,
Exactly.
and then
Right.
it just ricocheted throughout the entire circle.
No, she's good for that.
I'm surprised she shared that. That's embarrassing. I'm surprised that she would tell them.
Mia told them.
Well, Mia told Amber.
Mia told Amber, I believe.
And then Amber-
Or Mia
Danielle?
told Danielle, and
And then
Danielle.
Danielle told Amber.
I think they were gonna find out
I
regardless.
think, because I think she's done.
Oh yeah, she's
She's
checked
finito.
out.
She's checked out mentally from it.
But like, you're not my homegirl, so I'm not about to talk. Actually, I don't care if you are my homegirl. I'm not going to ever talk negatively about my husband to anybody, just because I'ma forgive him. But if you're my friend, you're not going to forgive my husband the same way.
But
I
that's what I'm
forgive
saying.
him.
I don't
We're
think
gonna
that
look
you
at him
think.
different.
I mean, that's the way I feel about all relationships, and that's why I kind of applauded Danielle when she was being secretive about her relationship. But I'm saying right now, it's seeming as though, especially knowing what's going on in reality, it's seeming as though this was her break. So she didn't care at this point, because the last time when she was still seemed to be more invested in the relationship to me, she was not willing to share the information because they were still working on
Oh, at the
ironing
dinner.
it out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas now she's like, like, I don't care. This is what happened. I'm done with him.
Yeah.
That's how it's coming off to me.
Word.
Libra on the go says Amber was not as annoying as other episodes.
Because she feels better about her relationship.
She's growing like the plants that they
she's
planted.
growing. She's taking roots.
growth.
Because he is flower. They're doing some growing on each other. What's happening?
I love these sound effects.
Yeah, no, Tone is great with his outfit. I love when Tone does his thing.
Right?
Big old shout out.
No, he does. So Bobby and Danielle. Okay, so we still haven't really seen them, have any issues. We know that. Okay.
I'm
We don't
sorry.
know.
I'm gonna roll my eyes.
Right,
I'm sorry.
exactly. I just want to get from you all because he was talking to, was it his friend or his brother?
I think his friend.
Is it his
No,
friend?
it's his
Okay.
brother.
It was his brother?
Really?
Okay. I didn't catch which one it was. Okay, so
I'm like 98% sure that's
okay,
his brother.
so he was talking to his brother, and they were talking about the relationship, and his brother was saying, I've been married 5 years, and so you have these ups and downs. Obviously, Bob's like, oh, everything's great. He's been saying that since day one, right? Haven't had any issues, and I feel like if we get through these 8 weeks, the rest of the world's going to be like this. He's obviously in for a rude awakening, but the whole thing is, do you feel that, I know that they're going to stay together. That's beyond easy. But do you feel like that they are being this way? And I think this might have come up in a previous after show we did. Do you think they're being this way because the cameras are on? And because the show is going, they don't want to look bad in front of the cameras. Because, they're not very expressive. We know Danielle's definitely not. I did like the little note she left. She knows she said she's not she doesn't not very open with how she says things. So she wrote him a little letter. He appreciated, but he called her on the phone and she was like, hey, didn't really seem excited. When she got home, she was all about the dogs, didn't hug him till like 45 minutes later. Like
5 seconds.
All I kept thinking that whole scene was, you know what, y'all gonna eat me up in the comments. I don't really care. That their house probably stinks. Like that's all I thought the whole time. Like their house probably has a scent to it.
And then it's
It's
dogs
older.
that are like dogs that are needing fostering. They're going through things. They're not even
Like
healthy.
older dogs, they're not in
Older
the best of
dogs,
health,
like-
and then that dead duck still
Yeah,
sticks with me, and
it's
I
like
just
a
feel
little
like
home.
I'm sure they
Who was
have
talking
to
about
breeze.
retirement
It's fine.
homes?
I'm sorry,
It was
and I
Amber.
know
It's like a
that.
retirement
Amber.
home for dogs.
Oh my
well,
god.
and I noticed that too. I was like, okay, like all right, cool to see the dogs, and of course the dogs are excited to see you,
Yeah.
like because dogs
Yeah.
make you feel like you're the best person in the entire
Yeah, of
world.
course.
Not
I love
cats
dogs.
though.
I love dogs.
But I just thought it was kind of weird. Like she didn't want to hug him first.
like right away,
Okay, I'm gonna speak
please.
as
A
a
dog
dog
mom.
mom, but you're also dog mom, right? Kind of.
I'm
You
like a
have
dog
dogs?
sister.
Okay, the dog aunt who's like, yeah. So dog mom, I definitely greet my dog first. Like that's just what's gonna happen. Like you said, they're running up to you, stoked to see you, da da da, and then you go to your man, and then it's fine. Like I think we might be overthinking.
Maybe
that
she
part
just had
just a
so
little
many
bit,
dogs
'cause I
that she
think-
had to say
I
hi.
There was
believe-
3
I
dogs
believe
jumping
you.
on her.
I
Like,
believe
what?
you, because I kind of had a second of like,
not a
what
big
is she
deal.
doing? And then she turned around and she
Yeah.
looked really and genuinely happy to see him. But I did catch that. But I will go with Shannon because she's a dog mom and
You
seems like I'm
disagree
sitting
with
next to next right here.
I think the reason why I'm bringing it up is because she's not very forthcoming.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why I say like, oh, look at here. And then the part when, remember they're talking on the phone and he says, I love you. And she doesn't say it back. And then he's like, oh, well, she maybe didn't hear me. So
She hasn't
it's
said it
cool.
yet.
But I know
No,
how she.
exactly.
But I know how she feels.
That was important.
And that was a huge thing because I was like, wow, that she really took her exercise seriously. And it's funny when anybody reads out loud. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I was like, Bobby, don't mess up. He did a good job
Yeah,
reading
he
out
did
loud.
well.
He did really good. I'm serious. People read out loud. I'm nervous for them. Like, oh gosh, they about to make me feel like
Right.
I'm embarrassed. But no, he did. No, well, her letter was really beautiful, and I feel like that was perfect for him. It was exactly what he needed. The experts, said like, hey, we need you to, Dr. Jessica was like, you need to pen this out. Like, if you don't feel like you can say it, you need to express it somehow. And I think it just was perfect. She was out of town. She left him a letter. He saw it, and he was comfortable, even though she didn't say that. I was like, that's a perfect scenario. I couldn't imagine it going any better.
Yeah.
And honestly, again, I said this the last time that I was here, which is really like, it's only been a month and a half. Like, let's be honest. It's really been a month and a half. And I honestly, in hindsight, he might not feel that way right now, but in hindsight, you're going to appreciate somebody who took their time to tell you how they feel when things are realer, and we can just move all the cameras out of the way and let's just be like, okay, let's just go on for another week or two, and then let me make sure that those feelings are real and it's not just the hype of it, and she's a very calculated person. She's even told us that I want to make sure that I'm in love with him for him, not for the experience. So just allow her to peel back the onion and get to the core. But I really feel like everything is fine. It's not that serious.
That's why I posed the question.
Yeah.
That's why I said, do you think
So
it's because of the cameras?
When cameras are off, I'm sure she does and says more to make him feel like reassured. Like, yes, she does love me. I don't need to hear her say the word right now because I know she's going to take her time.
The live chat is not here for Danielle. Comments include but are not limited to. BB Brides one says, Bobby is going to stay with Danielle and he is going to be miserable. Sailor Girl for Life, I always see you. Hey, Sailor Girl for Life. Said, poor Bobby. He needs to turn into a lab to get her full attention and love.
Oh no! Shots fired! Bang bang!
No. This is the shot. Luann Simon. Hey, Luann says, Danielle needs less eyebrow crayon. It's eyebrow pencil, but it is dense.
Yeah.
But I think that's like the favorite. That's like the only thing she does.
No, but
it's like that's all he does. That's it.
But no, everyone in the chat basically saying how Bobby cleans up after her. Like Bobby does everything. Like it's all on Bobby, and Danielle is basically gets treated like a queen. And they don't seem to really think that it's gonna go the long.
And this is the thing, and it's come up already. This has been something that's been challenging. It's come up, saying that you need to take equal parts. They've had a discussion about, oh well, I can help clean up. We're like, wait, you haven't been? Oh shoot, like this is news to us. Yeah. So, and I think that Bobby, we know that he's a traditional man. We know that his mother, his grandmother has been a homemaker, and I feel like he does overcompensate because he feels like that's what he needs to do as a man. So, but I think that he is wearing down by it. And if it continues in the vein, he's going to either speak about it or he's going to resent her. Yes.
Yeah, and I feel like if he doesn't speak on it soon, even the little comments that she makes are probably jokes. Like, for example, coming home to today in the episode and feeling and asking like, oh, has your dad been taking care of you? Girl, first of all, he takes care of them when you're here. Right. So those little things might not matter, but I'm just saying in the long run, no matter much of a man you think you are, any person is going to start to feel a kind of way over a period of time where it's chipping away at your own worth because you're like, okay, what's happening here? And it's one-sided and not communication.
Sure.
Yeah, well, I totally get that, it not being reciprocated, but maybe that is something that makes him feel fulfilled, is like doing service and seeing her happy that he does these things. That could make him feel...
language.
Yeah, exactly. And so that could make him feel good. So maybe that's something that really isn't as big of a problem, but I could see it is when he's doing everything. Then that's an issue.
I do have a hypothesis though as to why he does as much as he does. Possibly because he saw his mother take on all, if not the probably the majority of things done around the house, and saw that his dad didn't take on those responsibilities. So maybe as a young man, he thought, okay, well, I want my wife to be a stay-at-home mother for the kids, but let me figure out how I can help her out or where I can get in and do my part. And because he's getting in and pitching in and doing his part, and I feel like he really genuinely loves Danielle and wants her to be happy, he's doing a lot and maybe even overcompensating, and he doesn't want to ask her to do those things because maybe he doesn't want to sound chauvinistic, because it kind of, if a guy says to you on the first date, I just want you to stay home and to take care of our kids and to not have your own career, you would be like, pig. Yeah. So maybe he's trying to prove that he's not that.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point, especially somebody who goes around their moms. But just in the long run, I just hope that she can kind of step it up a little bit. But I also feel like you made a really good point, because that got me thinking, because one of my love languages to receive is acts of service. So it's like...
To receive.
You want to be Danielle.
No, I really know, but like, the thing is, it means a lot to me when people go, like, when you do things, I don't really care about what you say and all of that. So she might be one of those people where it's like, I don't do a lot of talking, I don't talk a lot, I don't tell you how I feel a lot.
What does she do?
I mean,
she must do something. She writes notes.
She might do that thing that we don't see when they had that other thing happening.
I think Bobby is head over heels for her, and 100%. I think that he will do anything to make sure she's happy. Bottom line, I've been there. I've done that with women in my life. I know the feeling. So you take on so much because you're like, no, I just want you to be happy. I just what you need. Oh, I got you.
Right.
And so I think he's doing that, and there's no problem with that. But I think that when
I was like, but what's wrong with that?
I don't know one of those.
well,
It's
again,
not wrong with it. No. I'm saying like, where are the guys that do that at? Like, where are they at? What is the cheat code? Whisper the code in my ear that you put into the back of their neck, go boop 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 boop, and you get that type of guy. Like, tell me.
I mean, they're around. You just gotta weed through, or maybe go to Houston because maybe there's a bunch of Bobbies. But the bottom line is, I feel like
I'm too tall.
she does need to do more in the relationship, like not more work per se, but I think more in the relationship because I feel like he's like 60, she's maybe 70, 30, 65, 35. I think that's where they're at. So in order for it to last happily ever after, she needs to give more to that mark.
Well, I would say maybe her carpool can add her another 10%.
Her commute is
Yeah,
crazy.
serious.
Her commute, I forget
true.
about it
Yeah.
a lot.
That's true.
And that's the thing. They don't do a lot of talking about what they do for each other. One thing I noticed about Bobby and Danielle this episode, he said something to his brother, I suppose, which was along the lines of like, I know that it's not going to be like this all the time. That's the first time I've heard him say that, him or Danielle, because consistently you hear them on this high and they wanted to continue to be a high. So I'm glad that he came to a reality check of like, okay, I know it's not going to be this way. Where on the flip side, just really quickly, Mia was like, this is the worst it's ever going to be. I hope this is the worst fight we ever have. It's like, no, sis, this is not going to be the worst fight. So it's like for you to have that mentality going down the road is to show you like how one couple is progressing and the other one is deteriorating.
Word.
Deteriorating.
Just vanishing. Felicia, you have something to say about AfterBuzz.
Yes, I do. Hey, what's up, AfterBuzzers? Here at AfterBuzz, our network works to produce after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows, from dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more. There is no network that works harder for television fans. But we do need your help. So what we're asking is that you would please subscribe to one or more or all of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to the channel, what you do is YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and it will help AfterBuzz to continue to grow. And if you're worried about those little pesky notifications, you don't have to be because they're actually optional. So what I need you to do right now is to hit the subscribe button right now for this channel and to check out all of our other AfterBuzz TV channels as well. And let us know that you did in the comment section, and we'll be sure to shout you out on air. For now, we thank you so much for being the best fans and helping us to continue to be the ESPN of TV talk.
Booyah.
Yes.
So let's segue right into our special segment, Thelma.
Oh, yay.
You have an amazing question. Tone, if
so
you got some
excited for
Jeopardy
this.
music, you could toss it on.
Play
I
the
know,
game.
right?
Okay.
Yes.
I'm shaking.
Okay, so we
I
doing
need to
like
calm
two
down.
today?
One good one.
One
Yes.
good one?
Yes. Juicy one.
Some of my anxiety, please.
Yeah.
I want to do one that's related to this season. This is a
I really can.
Okay.
I like
Okay,
this
okay.
game.
Which Married at First Sight star bought their first house at 21 years old?
Dave.
Bobby.
Mia did.
Dave, Bobby,
Oh,
Mia,
I thought you
and
were gonna
the winner is drumroll. The young man to the right, Mr. Webb. It's Mia.
Yeah.
The young boss. The young lady bought her first home by 21, and I'm sure it had a headboard in it.
Right. Yeah, she mentioned that at the beginning.
She did.
She mentioned that at the very first episode. Yes.
I
So
swore I won.
yeah.
You're like,
I won.
I was like, yeah.
No, I remember that one. I remember that one. Let's get into predictions. Let's do that.
Oh man.
Oh man. Yeah. Yikes.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So
oh, I was about to say, you're ready for Halloween. So.
It's music, right?
I know, right? It's very Halloween-esque. So we'll start on the other side of the pond.
Okay, let's start over
Shannon.
here. So I
Shannikin.
think Mia is filing for divorce.
Do you think that, or do you know that for a fact?
All of the blogs.
My
Like,
prediction. I have
Come
no
on.
idea. I think she's gonna file for divorce.
come on.
Okay, so yes, that's what I think. I think Danielle and Bobby are just gonna have the best of times on their little mini honeymoon thing, and then I think Dave and Amber are gonna have some more serious conversations, and I think there might be another little tiff that goes on.
Between Dave and Amber?
Dave and Amber, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I actually think that because we're going into the episode with the friends and the family, we haven't seen Dave and Amber, and more importantly, Amber and Dave's friends interact since she was being all crazy about the internet thing. So I actually honestly believe that this would be a saving grace for their relationship, and this would really be the bow on, like, put the bow on the little present, and it would really propel them forward, because their talk, they're the only ones that have the verbiage just really showing them that they want to be together for seasons and seasons to come.
Cool.
So yeah.
My predictions are that obviously Mia and Tristan are just a hot mess. Like, the situation, both of them are crazier than soup sandwiches. Like, they're just nuts. And yeah, you think about trying to put soup on a piece of bread.
She's coming with the chorus today.
No,
Red Bull. It's
I'm
kind of
just, I didn't. I've been drinking seltzer water.
The Panera ones are good.
No, but I just think I'm just kind of tired of seeing it, so I'm not like really looking forward to this next week's episode. I hope that it's a little bit more interesting. Like, I don't have any positive predictions. I told you my name was Nancy today.
Oh my goodness, guys! If you're
from
listening,
Nancy to y'all, next week better be better. I'm gonna be mad.
Okay.
Or we're done. Tristan and Mia, we're gonna see, another issue happening with them. I mean, come on now. They're not gonna last, and we know that for sure. I think it's funny because I think Amber and Dave, like, they're the little engine that could, and they're gonna be the turtle in the hair race. Like, I think they're gonna be the ones, after this is all said and done, to be the strongest couple. Like, I really think they're going to be the strongest couple. I think Bobby and Danielle, I think they're going to coast through the 8 weeks. And I think they're really going to get to know one another and really start doing what they're, should be doing in the relationship after the cameras are done. That's what I really think. I think especially with Danielle, I think she's holding back because of the cameras.
Yeah.
I think in everything that she's doing. I think, yeah, sure, some people are more vocal, some people are less vocal. She's less vocal, but I think she's really holding back because of the television show. So I think that, but I still think they'll be fine. Absolutely. But I think that they're going to come across hurdles off camera.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
We have a prediction
yes.
in the live chat.
Yes.
Coffee Time says, I think by the reunion show, Amber and Dave will be expectant parents.
I would love that.
They said they were smashing every day.
He loves to bring that up. He has said that at least 3 times.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
dude.
proud of that.
Yeah, he's very proud of that.
But I thought it was, but the context though, when he she had the wrong person, and he was like, "Well, we have sex every day. Maybe we needed a more touching." Like,
They both picked
They're
the
both
rap.
quirky,
Yeah.
and that's the thing
They're
about
great.
them is that he does this little dad jokes,
Right.
whatever you
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
call
yeah,
them, and then
yeah.
she has her quirky
Right,
grandma
right.
jokes. So I
Right.
think it kind of works, and
Yeah.
they're really, really I'm just glad that
Yeah.
they've gotten over that hump because
It was too
it was
much.
stressful.
I'm telling you, they're going to be the ones to, and I think this is a good prediction. I think a baby on the way.
It would be beautiful.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
dope. That would be dope. My friend just told me that he is expecting. And his wife.
Congratulations.
That was really dope. Yeah, they're in Hawaii right now celebrating his birthday, and he calls me, and I'm like, right before the show, and I'm like, hello, but I know you're in Maui. He's like, man, I just had to tell you, found out yesterday. And they've been trying for over a year.
Oh, wow.
So,
Congratulations to them.
yeah. So, anyway, yeah.
Uncle Lem.
Yeah. Your
I
favorite
just love
uncle.
how everyone, if you guys are listening in the iTunes, I just love how everyone's energy just changed. Like,
Right.
Felicia went from don't play with me, married at first sight, I need some drama next episode, to
Yeah.
oh, Uncle Lem.
That's how it is. This season's a roller coaster.
Oh, 5 stars, guys. Give us 5
Yeah,
stars.
make sure you give us 5 stars.
4 is not enough.
It's not enough.
That's
what
from
is enough?
Nancy.
What is enough is this episode, because we are done. That is the end. We have only a few more episodes left, so make sure you keep the conversation going. Thank you, everyone that was in the live chat. We always love to hear from you. Make sure you comment. Let us know what you thought about the episode. Again, download us on iTunes, 5 stars, because nothing else matters. I've been your host, Lim Gonzalez, your favorite uncle in the world. You can find me everywhere at The Poet Saint, and check out my website, stayonthemic.com. Felicia, where you at?
Nice. So thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, it's Felicia Michelle. You can find me on Instagram at It's Felicia Michelle. And I told you I'm doing the Twitter thing still at everyone, the number 1, hates Fee.
Oh, nice. Okay, well, I'm very happy to be here. I'm Thelma and Bezaway Daniel. You can find me at Thelma on Instagram, at Muxie_Soul on Twitter, and tonight I'll be doing This Is Us right after this at 9, and Get Shorty on Sunday, just tonight though. So I'll see you guys soon.
Yes.
Always glad to be here.
Heck yeah. And I'm Shannon O'Connor. You can find me on Instagram at Shannakin_Skywalker. They all love that name. And on Twitter at ShanOC. They really don't love it. It's okay. It's all right.
Not at
I
all.
do.
My God.
All right, y'all. Next week.
We will be here. We promise.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.